Before we start the video, don't forget to like it, share and subscribe to the channel, and activate the bell button. The film begins in the North Pacific Ocean, specifically in a place like this full of garbage in the middle of the ocean. We see a band explore on a ship like this, and this band will be there, led by a scientist named Sophia, currently Chris Sofa's fiancée, who remains one of the team. He also starts filming Sofa talking to him now. You tell him that the area they are in the ocean is called the garbage vortex, and its name is like this. For a very simple reason. It is full of garbage because the action of the garbage current collects here, and says Sophia also said that people must protect the oceans. The seas are made of garbage, especially plastic, because it causes the death of many birds, marine mammals, in addition to the fact that they can cause, in that the huge marine animals are changing. Her behavior remains more violent than before, and she knows Sophie, everyone, and his band are here to study sharks from the Mako family, because there is a lot in the area here, and we also know, now, Sophie is studying shark a certain girl named Lilith while she was still there. Sophie imagines all this talk about a girl coming from her teams, and those who remain her help her. She made a signal to the fish, Lilith. This is supposed to mean that it is in a specific place for about a day here at that time. Sophie orders Chris and 3 others from the crew, Tom, Juan, and Sam. They specialize in, now they take a sample of the fish Keelis, because Cotter means a Sufi woman who studies her and knows them as Sufis. They also need to make sure that the tracking device, those who are still on the fish, so that they know where she is. But they finish talking about her Cree. Tom, Sam, and the brothers start preparing themselves. Then he gets engaged. In the sea, as soon as the 4 of them arrive, they reach the bottom of the ocean and are surprised by a shark. A little girl got stuck in some trash, and because of that, she died because she remained attached to the days and did not know it. She moves and doesn't go to get herself any food. The problem remains that while everyone is watching, this dead fish suddenly finds people around them. A group of mako sharks. Of course, everyone. They wonder how there is a group of mako pennies. They are going together like this, even though it is known that they are not. They walk in groups, and everyone knows that it means that for one reason or another their behavior has changed. This is not the big problem. The problem remains. What is serious is that Sophia is currently helping her. They find that the fish, Lilith, is close to Chris and everyone, so he informed them so that they could take his eye from her. Everyone starts looking for something, but not until they find it. In front of them, everyone is surprised by its huge size. 2 letters have increased very, very much, and no one knows what happened. How could Chris still take a sample from her? But he doesn't get to the point where the fish starts attacking on Chris and everyone with him and get rid of them in. It was time for Conan to filter it. So she decided to go down to the bottom. The ocean is hoping to save anyone, so don't go down to the bottom of the ocean. She has a weapon like this, so she can kill not only that. But the disaster is that Sophie came down as soon as she came down to the bottom of the ocean. Payette Chris was surprised in front of her. Of course I was very terrified, because this is literally what remains from Chris. The important thing is that Lilith, before you think she finds the fish Lilith in front of her, so she hits her with the weapon she has, but Lilith reacts. The weapon is now running quickly from Sophie's side. Unfortunately, there is a network like this attached to Lilith. This net holds a Sufi's leg and takes it. Lilith walks, and Lilith keeps pulling Sophie, to the point that Sophie can't stand the pressure. She starts to get down, but quickly she acts and lets herself go. She runs away, and thus she becomes a Sufi, and their help is alone. But those who remain from this incident pass. He remained like this for 3 whole years. We see that Sophia is currently working in a marine museum, so Sufa is struggling with herself for the sake of she forgets her friends, Chris, and everything that happened to them in the past. But unfortunately, Sofa can't forget them today. She will be with a group of children who will be very attracted to her museum and learn about fish and so on, until one of the children is a little soft. Sophie thinks that her evaluation is dead. So Sophie becomes upset. She walks, and while Sophie is walking, she comes to her A-girl named Mika. Mika knew Sophie that she was following the fish as Lilith, and she wants her to come with her to a place like this. Sophie agrees, and here she takes her Mika, and they go to a secret place like this, and we know that this place is the headquarters of Mika and her group and those who remain a secret group trying to preserve life. The important thing now is that Mika and Sophia sat with a girl in the group, Mika's friend, named Ben and Ben. This remains a very professional hacker among those who know. Sophie was able to choose the tracking device that it was in Lilith, and I was able to track Lilith, and they knew. Currently, Lilith is here in Paris, specifically at the bottom of the Seine River at that time. I couldn't believe it. Soval said this, especially since mako fish, and those who are not among them also do not live in any Esbet water. But Mika knew Lilith that for sure. Her behavior changed, and she continued to live very normally in water Esbet. And Mika Sophia knew that she wanted her help her, so they can keep Lilith away from the river the Seine and return again to the ocean. Its homeland, because her presence here in the river is dangerous for her and for me as well, residents of Paris. And the biggest indication of this is that there is a person he fell in his car into the Seine River. And unfortunately, this person, his body has disappeared, and Mika is sure that Lilith, she is the one who killed her in the first place. And Mika Sophie knows that she is. You will lose weight today and try to contact Lilith somehow. She tries to keep her away from the city completely. Mika looked at Sophie to come with her. But Sophie, she refused because she didn't want to be singled out for the hour. It happened a long time ago. So I left her and walked at night to see Mika and Ben are riding a boat like this, and it arrives to the place where the car sank in a river. The Seine and its people are now dead as a sun and are being kidnapped. You go to Arabic and start studying it, and you find there is a strange sign on the door of the car, and you know it. This is from Lilith, and we will make sure that Lilith is here. Actually, during the day, she went and was sitting on the boat, and suddenly you find a police boat. She was coming to the place, and there was a sign for Mika, because Qadr means you go out and take each other between now, and she runs away. But Mika stayed when she came out of the river. She finds a police force in front of her, led by an officer. His name is Adil, and Adil decided that he would get arrested on it. He takes his boat and walks in it at the same time. Sophie was sitting with herself. She looks at pictures of her old villa, and her fiancé Chris, of course, is sad and upset. Then I watched Sophie on the tracking device in Lilith. I just discovered that Lilith is actually in a river. The Seine took some nights and went to the river, and nearby, Wood Lilith was there and focused. Sophie is with the river, and now she sees Lilith walking in it. And therefore I was sure that Lilith was actually here in the river, and we still don't know if you will join Mika. Don't stay afraid. Remember Mika Vianney one day in the morning. Mika was at the police station, and he was sitting with her. Adele's officer investigates him, and Adele keeps asking her, what was she doing at the bottom of the river, but she wasn't. She agrees to tell him. So Adele decides to lock her up here. Mika still knew that she was looking for a penny at the bottom of the river, but Adele does not believe her. But after it's not a long time for Adele to be summoned to a place Moeen is in the river, so he decided to go there as well. Best pray for him. As soon as you arrive, they know that they found a second person killed in the river, and it is clear that he was killed because he was exposed for an attack from a certain shark. Here at this moment, Demika, I told them that the one who did this to him was the shark. Then you see the dead person's soul, and you take it that he actually died because of someone's attack. The pennies go crazy at that moment. Adele takes everything, so he goes to Adele's leader, whose name is Angel. They now know what happened, and that the Sim River, there is a very dangerous shark, and Commander Angel is fanatical because there should also be a race in a few days. From now, my world will happen in the river, and of course that will not happen with the shark present. Angel asks Adele. He takes power and goes and kills this shark no matter what it cost him. So Adele decided to do this, and read he will also take Sophie with him, so that she can determine a place, the shark. But he doesn't want to take Mika with him at this time. I took advantage of the opportunity and asked her friend Ben destroys the tracking device so that no one can reach the shark's location. Of course, Mika, I don't want this shark to die. I want you to study it. You are more compatible and you do this at this moment. Of course, Sophie loses contact with the shark and you can locate him. But Adele doesn't care about him all this, and they read that his men go down to a river, which means they see this shark and make sure it even exists. Indeed, his men, Adele, go down to the bottom of the river. They look for the shark and actually find the shark. Lilith came to them. So they were afraid and went out on last moment, thank God. None of them were harmed. But Adil does not like this and begins to suspect that she is a Sufi. She is the one who disabled the tracking device. So he keeps fighting with her. This bothered Sophie. So the place smiled. After a while, Adil sat with Angel and introduced her. All that happened. Angel knew was that she would see a mayor of the city today and see what they will do. Adil agrees with her words and sits in his office. Then Adil starts looking for more and more Sufis. He knows exactly who she is and what the incident is. It happened to her a long time ago. So he started to sympathize with her more. Adil is now going to meet Sophie at the museum, the sailor who works there and knows Adil now. He kept trusting her after he knew her whole story. He asks her to come with him and Angel when he meets the mayor of the city, so that he can convince her that she will stop the world race to some extent. He saves him from the shark that is still standing in Sufism. Adil and Angel go and meet all the time the mayor of the city in this oasis. Talk to everyone with her, and they introduced her to the subject of the shark in the race. He had to stand up in any way, but the mayor refused. Of course, a lot of money was spent on preparing this race. It is very useless to cancel, and therefore you ask them. Now the mayor is getting rid of the shark in as soon as possible before the race, and do not talk about another thing. Of course, everyone has to agree, even though all this talk is wrong. Then it starts. They prepare themselves so that they can eliminate the shark at night. But before they go down to the river and look for, the shark is currently coming to them between his friend Mika Ben Sur. I know they are a disaster now, which is that Mika, I was able to locate the shark and what would be there in a place in the river called the catacombs. It is assumed that Mika is convinced that she will be able to sonar rays are used to communicate. With sharks, his orientation remained to the ocean and they followed it. And thus Mika gathered a lot of members and they left today for the catacombs, which means they contact the shark, of course. Sophia and Adil, they go crazy with all this stupidity. So they decide they go and stop Mika and those with her before they all die. And indeed, on the same day at night, we see Mika and Baya members gathered at Redeem. The dead and Mika comes down with a ball like this. It emits sonar rays, which means it draws the spray with them. It's not here. But before that happens, you'll reach a place Sufism, Adil, and a force from the police are trying Mika and those with her walk. But Mika is not satisfied. You get out of the water in the middle of all this and reach a shark at night. She has another small penny with her. So she gets to know Sophia. Lilith always gave birth and asked for Sophia and everyone. It is from Mika that she comes out of the water. But Mika is not. She can go out. So he comes down normally and answers her. But she follows about her. And here Niels continues to attack Mika and she lives. You and Fak are spreading chaos. My friend, the place and everyone are trying to escape, and because of that many people fall into the water and get dirty, and you kill a lot of them. In the end, the matter changes. For a massacre and away from the people who died, I have Mika among them. And by the way, there are many people. They were injured and it was literally a disaster. But Adil, the officers can escape from the place, and with them were Sofa and a few survivors after a while. We see Sofa in the hospital, and she keeps looking around her are the many people who died, and those who were injured and believe that she was exposed to the situation. This is a second time, and after a while, Sophie goes, and Adil at the catacombs is supposed to mean that a police force was able to catch the small shark. The one who was with Lilith then takes Sophie. This little shark is for a lab and you start examining it. Here, Sophie knows something dangerous very much. This shark did not give birth to Lilith naturally. By marrying a male for the second penny, no, you now know. Sophie, that Lilith gave birth. This shark is individual without mating, and therefore Sophia now realizes that Lilith is not a fish. The mako shark is a new species or species of no one knows anything about sharks. Here you cover how this lilyfish grows unnaturally and quickly, in short, because it is a type new, no one knows him at all. And you know Sophia Adil, now they need to get rid of the tongue faster. It is possible that I will agree with her words, but the problem is that after that, the mayor of the city will now leave Adil, Sophia, and Angel also shake up the failure that this happened to all the people who died in the basements. The dead and the mayor knows that they will not continue. Work on the sky, Kellis. Or they will even try. They will reach her again, and the one who will be assigned this role. They are army officers who will also protect the city. The race time will also take place during the day, because unfortunately, the mayor insists that after everything that happened, all of this is done on time at the same time. This place is what makes Sophie angry, so she fights with the mayor, but the mayor doesn't care at all. She and everyone from his office develop. And after a while, we will see Sophie and Adil are sitting together in a cafe like this. They decide that they must finish with Lilith before the race doesn't start. And so you go now, Sophie.
Adil, Big Apple Angel, and a group of police officers and selling them for a few hours. The race is supposed to start.
But at this time, they have to finish off Lilith, and there are 4 officers. They decide to join Adil, Sophia, and Angel. You know that she will be with the mayor all the time. The race and Adil and the rest of the officers will leave it. Everyone, as Angel McKee says, sits down. They put a plan on him, and as soon as they put the plan on him, he asks Adil and Sophia come down with 2 officers, second to the river from the catacombs, and we know, currently they are, lying to Lyles for the place here and joking there are explosives to kill her in one breath. There will be 2 officers on a boat waiting Adil and those with him take him and leave Angel remained. So she was with the mayor and the mayor now. We break up the race and see that. There are tens or hundreds. Some of the competitors go down to him and the race begins. This is of course abnormally dangerous. After a while, from all this we see Sophie and the one with her starting. They really attract Lilith. But the surprise remains that they don't just find Lilith. They find him too. Lilith is coming with a lot of sharks. So she is called Sofa, and everyone know that Lilith left. Behind all countries, and 2 letters turned the place here into its colony. The problem that is happening now is that there are many. These sharks attack one of the officers, the one, with Sophie Wells, and then he gets rid of them. He attacks another woman and they kill him again. She quickly ran away to Lass and Adil and they thought the whole place, and then they go to the officers who waiting for him and Adele's tears. Then Sophie comes down. She looks at Lilith and those with her and makes sure he is dead. No, but she is surprised that Lilith is living normally, very much. And Wab came to them and hit the boat Knight, the one who has Adele, and the 2 are the second officers. She then turns around and attacks these 2 officers. You kill, you leave the place, you walk. And you know, now Sophia is going to attack. The race is there, and you eat everything in it, and really you will find sharks when racing. And they start eating all the contestants. And here they are, army soldiers enter and keep shooting on Lilith. She quickly keeps running away because of the beating. This much fire, my friend, will be in explosives in the river from the time of World War II. The second is that these explosives are still activated, and it starts to explode, and because of that, there are a lot of people they fall into the river, including the mayor herself. Of course, chaos and killing are spreading everywhere. But the waves keep rising and rising, and the tide of the river rises, and because of this it comes. A very high wave hits the place. Of course, Sophie and Adele sit in the water after a while. They can put wool and Adele on a piece of wood like this in the river, and they are safe. And he looks around them. They sold destruction everywhere, and they also find there are a lot of sharks around them at the moment. This is a Sufi progression, and it is fair that the pennies are over-control this river and they won't be able to finish what happened to them. And of course, all of this happened in the first and the last are because of humans who are literally, they negligently caused sharks to change their behavior. And the reason why many major disasters like this happen, the last thing we see, is that Sophie and Adele, they prefer to look at the destruction around them. They don't know what to do, and they are sure that's it. The sharks took the whole place for themselves, and with this point ends the movie and what we learn from it. My friend, I must not neglect nature. We give her her rights so that no disaster happens to us. It's big like this, and nature gives us other things. That's it. Peace.